Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings of mercy of Allah upon all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It seems very unusual that the topic that I was selected was what Al-Quran says about hijab, the veil, which is supposed to be referring to the women, and where we can hardly see very few women in the audience. Maybe they know very good, much better what hijab says, or they are not interested. Men who have to guide the woman may inshallah take the lesson, and then you can educate your sisters or daughters or wives regarding the hijab. Anyway, the lecture what Quran says about hijab that I dealt was not specifically to women, but because it is well known that the hijab, the veil, is referring to the women, that is why I said in the earlier this message. But what Quran says about hijab means the word hijab translated as veil, not for only women but men and women both. But before I discuss the ayahs related to the topic, I would like to give you the understanding in the world what has people have gathered or have understood or is been known generally what is a hijab. You may have heard a word scarf or a headgear. A lady wearing a scarf or a headgear is referred in the most of the Muslim society as hijab. The word hijab that has occurred in the Quran, how many? I think 5 times the word hijab has occurred in the Quran, which means veil. And 2 times the word has occurred hijaban, which is also the same word but just grammatically a little bit of difference, which means veil 2 times. And one more time is mahjubun, which means also hijab. The root letter is the hijab. So total 8 times the word hijab meaning the veil has occurred in the Quran, and not once, I repeat, not once, it is related to the understanding prevailing in the environment as a headgear or as a gown or whatsoever people are taking with clothes, facing the cover, facing the head, covering the eyes or the face or the hands or the feet, whatsoever. Not once. First of all, you must know this. Hijab means the veil, a barrier between 2 people or between Allah and me. That's the meaning. First of all, we must understand what you're listening. So the meaning of hijab means the barrier or a veil. That's the meaning. But why we are having a hijab means we are covering our clothes by our body and everything. We are covering by clothes. But what hijab is related to Allah and the ayahs that I will read, and we'll find out what it says. First of all, I would like to give you 2-3 words of Arabic words that is occurred in the Quran to understand this lecture more easily, and that is the word thawb, translated as cloth. I am wearing a cloth. You people are wearing cloth. That is, the Arabic word is thawb. Plural is siyab. The other word is the libas or labasa, which means to wear. I am wearing clothes. You people are wearing clothes. To wear means labasa or libas. What you are wearing is clothes, means a garment or a dress code, a dress. It can vary from country to country or city to nations and everywhere. Culture also, there's a dress. Every man and woman are wearing clothes. And that, when you say wearing clothes in the Arabic, it means thawb. Wearing clothes, clothes means thawb, thiyab, and libas, labasa means to wear. So all of you are wearing clothes, all of us. And the way we are wearing, meaning we are covering ourselves, our body. And once we are covering our body, we are, so to say, bringing a hijab between each other. Hijab. We are what is this is the suit I am wearing is a cloth made of cloth. It has become a hijab, a barrier between my inner body structure and the outside from you people. Similarly, women are wearing and men are wearing. So the clothes are a barrier at the moment between me and you and everybody. We wear clothes. Wearing a cloth is already a hijab. When a child or we people are born, definitely you all know we are born nude. But the moment the child is born, we cover the child, meaning what covering we do with the clothes is what physical parts of that child is the private parts. The whole world knows what are the private parts. So there are certain parts to be exposed and there are certain parts to be hide. The hidden parts and the exposed parts. The debate or the dispute going on around the Muslim community is what are the exposed parts and what are the hidden parts of women, generally speaking. But everybody knows what are the private parts and what are the exposed parts, generally in the whole world. Precisely when we'll deal the ayahs relating to this topic hijab, to veil, to create a barrier between each other, we'll see. But why I am reading this word, the clothes, already we are in hijab. When we wear clothes, we are hijab. Everybody is in hijab, we are wearing clothes. The limitations we'll discuss. What are the limits? That is we are going to discuss what we can expose and what we cannot expose. Secondly, a self or a soul or a nafs in Arabic of human beings contains two things. Self of a human being contains two things. Or a human being contains a soul, and soul contains two things: the intelligence and emotions, the feelings. And one is the body structure, the body. So human beings are a combination of body, this body, and soul, the self. And the self contains heart, where from emotions are exposed feelings, and the other is the head, the intelligence. So the psychology contains the intelligence and the emotions, and the body is the human body, male or female. Difference is the structure. So when we will discuss the hijab, it refers to both the body and the soul, the self. In psychology, what you have to hide from each other and what you have to expose in psychology. Similarly, what body structure you have, what are the exposed parts of the body and what are the hidden parts of the body, private parts. So this you must understand that we are not only covering our body, we are already, we don't know, but we are already covering our psychological aspects. And in that psychological aspects are emotions and feelings. Either you say feelings or emotions and intelligence. In the emotions and the feelings, the sexual feelings is included, the feelings. So we are covering from each other. How the lecture will go on, I will discuss first the ayahs that is given in the booklet related to the word hijab first. Related to the word hijab. A few ayahs I will discuss the word hijab, the word that hijab has occurred in the ayahs. Then we will discuss the physical aspect and the emotional aspect of women. First, the hijab or whatever, the veil. And then the men hijab is also mentioned in the Quran, both. But first women and then men. But first of all, I am discussing the word hijab. The word, how the word hijab has occurred in the ayahs. Surah number Shura 42, ayah 51. وَمَا كَانَ لِبَشَرٍ أَن يُكَلِّمُهُ اللَّهُ إِلَّا وَحْيًا أَوْ مِنْ وَرَاءِ حِجَابٍ أَوْ يُرْسِلَ رَسُولًا فَيُوحِيَ بِإِذْنِهِ مَا يَشَاءُ إِنَّهُ عَلِيٌّ حَكِيمٌ. And it is not for any human being that Allah speaks to him except by inspiration or from behind a hijab veil, or he sends a messenger, then he inspires with his permission what he wills. Surely he is most high wise. If you note in this ayah, the word hijab has occurred. The word hijab has occurred in this ayah. And in the it is just plainly, if you read it, you can understand this is not a physical hijab. I will explain to you that Allah, in this ayah, Allah says that there are three modes by virtue Allah communicate or speaks with man. One is by wahi or inspiration, and the second is behind the hijab, min warai hijab, or behind a veil. He speaks to man. The third is he sends a Rasul or messenger, and this messenger inspires whatever Allah wills to the man. So there are three different modes of Allah that Allah communicates to people, men and women both. That is the mode of communication. And in this mode, I am not going to discuss how. Our lecture is related to hijab, so I will just tell you that we have to understand that we have to, what is that hijab, or what is that hijab, the veil, that behind that hijab veil Allah communicates to man. That is the topic. What is that hijab, the veil, that behind that veil and hijab Allah communicates to man? We have to discuss that. The other aspects and how, and there's a big topic, a separate topic altogether. But only I'm going to discuss the word hijab, telling you that what is that hijab, the veil that Allah communicates to man. Because we all want to follow the guidance from Allah. So what hijab that I should have, that Allah should communicate to me? What is the veil, or what is the hijab I should have, that behind that hijab, the veil, Allah communicates to me? And the best of example in the whole Quran, the word hijab, the veil, has occurred here with Allah and with Maryam alayhi salam, Mary. And if you note, if you listen to the next ayah, I will read for you. Surah Maryam 19 and ayah 16 and 17. وَاذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ مَرْيَمْ إِذِ انْتَبَذَتْ مِنْ أَهْلِهَا مَكَانًا شَرْقِيًّا. And mention the Maryam, Mary, in the book, when she separated from her family to an eastern place. فَاتَّخَذْ مِنْ دُونِهِمْ حِجَابًا. فَاتَّخَذَتْ مِنْ دُونِهِمْ حِجَابًا فَأَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهَا رُوحَنَا فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا. Then apart from them, she took a hijab, veil. Then we sent to her our ruh, spirit, the essence. So he was for an even example of a human being. The example, the best example or the only example that has occurred in the Quran is with Maryam, the word hijab. The word hijab has occurred with Allah, that Allah speaks to man behind that hijab veil. And now Allah is explaining that mention or remember in the book about Maryam that she separated from her family to an eastern place, somewhere in the east. She separated. Then apart from her family, فَاتَّخَذَتْ مِن دُونِهِمْ حِجَابًا. Then apart from her family, she took a hijab, the veil. Her family in the Quran is, the father is the Imran al-Islam, Imran, and the brothers are the Musa and Harun al-Islam. And the caretaker of Maryam al-Islam is Zakaria al-Islam. These are the family of Maryam. So apart from these people, there is the father, the brother, and the caretaker Zakaria al-Islam, and these are all three prophets. Apart from them, she took an hijab. Who? Maryam. From who? From other people. Exception is Imran, Hazrat Harun al-Islam, Hazrat Musa al-Islam, and Zakaria al-Islam, the caretaker of Maryam. Apart from these people, she took the hijab from whom? From the people, other people. From other people, she took a hijab. And the moment she took that hijab, Allah sent the essence of the ruh to her. That means Allah, when she took that hijab, Allah is communicating with Maryam. Behind that veil, behind that hijab. When she established the hijab, behind that hijab, the veil, Allah sent the Spirit to communicate to her. That is the way Allah communicates to man. So Maryam alayhi salam, apart from her family members, I have already mentioned they are the prophets. She took an hijab, and once she took the hijab, Allah sends the messenger, Ruh, the spirit, and behind that spirit, Allah speaks to her. And there are many places. I'm just giving you one to reference. How Allah speaks. It is mentioned in Surah Al-Imran 3 and Ayah 42. وَإِذْ قَالَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ يَا مَرْيَمُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَاكِ وَطَهَّرَكِ وَاصْطَفَاكِ عَلَى نِسَاءِ الْعَالَمِينَ. And when the angel said, O Maryam, Mary, surely Allah has chosen you and purified you, and He has chosen you above the woman of all worlds. This is the communication of Allah through Maryam to Maryam via angels. There's a communication going on, that Allah is speaking via the angels, the messengers, to Maryam. O Maryam, when the angel said, O Maryam, Ya Maryam, Inna Allah astafaki, surely Allah has chosen you, wa taharaki, purified you, wastafaki, and chosen you, ala nisa'il alameen, that above all women of the worlds, because she has taken the hijab, the veil, from other people, and then Allah sent His Spirit to communicate to her. So ladies and gentlemen, we must know for sure what hijab we are talking about. That Allah speaks to man behind that hijab veil. We have to establish a hijab, the veil, in a manner that we should understand the essence of the Quranic ayahs. And once we understand the essence of the Quranic ayahs, that means Allah is communicating to us. But before we do so, we must know that we have to have that veil. If we do not have the hijab, the veil, we can never ever understand Allah's ayahs. That's the law of nature, that Allah speaks to man behind the veil, that hijab. And Maryam al-Islam is the example that she took that hijab, that Allah sends the Spirit Allah sends the angels, and angels said, "Oh Maryam, Allah has chosen you, purified you, chosen you above the woman of all alameen worlds." So we have understood from till here that hijab, the veil, up till now you can understand she must be having a physical and a psychological hijab. I am not disregarding the physical aspect here, but I am including the spiritual aspect, the hijab, the veil, the barrier between what people say and what Allah says. That is the hijab you have to create. You have to have that hijab, what people are saying about Allah and things. You must have that hijab, the veil which Maryam had it, so that Allah communicated to her. Now if you do not do so, what is mentioned, if you go to Surah al-Mutafaffin, 83 chapter and ayat 13 and to 16. إِذَا تُتْلَى عَلَيْهِ آيَاتُنَا قَالَ أَسَاطِيرُ الْأَوَّلِينَ كَلَّا بَلْ رَانَ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ مَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ كَلَّا إِنَّهُمْ عَنْ رَبِّهِمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ لَمَحْجُوبُونَ ثُمَّ إِنَّهُمْ لَصَالُو الْجَحِيمِ. When our ayahs, signs, verses are recited on him, he says, these are the myths of the earlier people. By no means. But what they have earned have rusted their hearts. By no means. On the day they will be definitely in hijab, veil from their Lord. Then surely they will roast in hell. The Arabic word is lamahjubun, comes from the root letter hijab. And in this ayah, Allah is telling us, whenever the ayahs are recited on people, they say this is a myth. And myth is something which is not real, which is just artificial, not real. They say, when they listen to the ayahs, and this is a myth of the earlier people. They're just stories, fairy tales. Allah says, by no means, what they've earned has rusted their hearts. Now the word in Arabic is hearts, and from the hearts are the emotions are activated. So Allah said they have rusted their hearts, what they have earned, because their emotions and feelings have been rusted by somewhere other than Allah's ayahs or Allah's message. Because the ayahs when recited, they said this is a myth of the earlier peoples. So their feelings are involved somewhere else. The lecture, and there's another topic where Shaitan stir up the feelings of mankind and confuses the mankind. The Shaitan's job is to capture your feelings and emotions. Where the emotion, because the emotions intellectually also convinces you, and when your feelings are attached, your heart becomes rusted if they are not aligned with Allah's instructions or Mohkam ayats. So here by no means what they have earned rusted their hearts. By no means on that day they will be definitely in hijab with the Lord, from the Lord. Meaning they are having a hijab, a veil from the Lord. Meaning they are exposed to the people's psyches and having a hijab from Allah's ayahs. They don't want to understand what Allah says. They are listening to people but having a hijab from the Lord. They're thinking like that. So in this ayah they are having a hijab from the Lord, meaning exposing somewhere else. Hazrat Maryam had an hijab for the Lord, but from other people she took the hijab. Meaning she did not listen to other people, she took the hijab, listened to Allah. Here in this ayah, people are having hijab from the Lord. That means they are exposed to people. They are listening to what people are saying. This is, hijab means a barrier, I am telling you, a veil. But between to whom? Between what? So in the previous ayah, Maryam took an hijab in a way that was, she took a hijab from the people, meaning a barrier from the people. She was listening to Allah. Here, the people are listening to people, they rusted their hearts from it and having a barrier from Allah. The hijab, these are the 2-3 ayahs that the word hijab has occurred. Fussilat 41 ayah 5. وَقَالُوا قُلُوبُنَا فِي أَكِنَّةٍ مِمَّا تَدْعُونَا إِلَيْهِ وَفِي آذَانِنَا وَقْرٌ وَمِن بَيْنِنَا وَبَيْنِكَ حِجَابٌ فَاعْمَلْ إِنَّنَا عَامِلُونَ. And they say, our hearts are in a covering. From that you invite us towards him. And in our ears is a deafness. And between us and you is a hijab. So you work, surely we are working. Now in this ayah, again you will note the word hijab has occurred in Arabic. I am reading those ayahs that the word hijab is occurred in Arabic. And this word hijab is not referring to any gear. Is not referring to any gear, a dress code. It is referring to, look, when they say our hearts is in coverings, where our emotions are stuck up. From that you invite us towards him. That means the believers are inviting the people towards Allah. So the non-believers are saying, the quotation is of the non-believers, they say our hearts are in a covering. From that you invite us towards him, towards the Lord. And in our ears is deafness. And between us, the non-believers, and you, the believers, is a hijab. So you work and we are also working. This is a statement of those people who are having a hijab, a veil between the believers and the non-believers. Again the word hijab has occurred. So you can note, up till now the 3-4 ayahs is not talking hijab as a headgear or any gear. So it is referring to a psychological barrier, a psychological hijab between the believers and the non-believers. Up till now I've read. And Maryam also has taken a hijab from the qawm, from the people, and from Allah, not from Allah but for Allah. So now in Surah 17, Surah in continuation, al-isra, and ayah 45-46. وَإِذَا قَرَأَتَ الْقُرْآنَ جَعَلْنَا بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ حِجَابًا مَسْتُورًا وَجَعَلْنَا عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ أَكِنَّةً أَن يَفْقَهُوهُ وَفِي آذَانِهِمْ وَقْرًا وَإِذَا ذَكَرْتَ رَبَّكَ فِي الْقُرْآنِ وَحْدَهُ وَلَّوْا عَلَى أَدْبَارِهِمْ نُفُورًا. And when you read the Quran, the reading, we put a hijab, the veil, invisible, between you and those who do not believe in the last day. And we put a covering on their hearts that they should understand it. And in their ears is a deafness. And when you mention your Lord, him alone in Al-Quran, the reading, they turn their backs fleeing. Again the word hijab has occurred. The word hijab is mentioned in the ayah, again you will note. And this is a hijab that Allah is putting between the non-believers and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and whoever that believes the ayahs. There is a hijab, a veil being put by Allah, an invisible veil, a hijab. That's a psychological hijab, invisible. When you read Al-Quran, the reading, we put a hijab veil invisible between you and those who do not believe in the last day, who do not believe that they have to give the account to Allah, not to these people who are telling you what is the hijab.